This is our post-implementation review final presentation for MIS 310 spring semester. Our target of study for the PIR assignments was to review the newly implemented information system at SuperValu called EquipPro. It's a 100% custom developed module using Oracle Financial Software for the Equipment Services Division of SuperValu. Team members working on this project were Carly, Justin, Easter, Brian, and Kathy. Our go-to contact at SuperValu was the IT project manager, Larry Smith, who works out of the Boise office. He's been on numerous projects in his tenure with the company. He is very knowledgeable about the whole project, and we were lucky to work with him. Now we're going to talk more specifically about the information system we reviewed. What is EquipPro? EquipPro is a new custom-built module of Oracle Financials that the Equipment Services Division of SuperValu migrated from a previous old legacy system called Entergy. It was completed and went live in late May of 2016. What does EquipPro do? EquipPro is the information system used by SuperValu to do equipment procurement for the Equipment Services Division of SuperValu. Equipment Services supplies everything from shelving, refrigeration cases, lighting, meat slicers, signage and decor, checkout stands, shopping carts, etc. Virtually everything that goes into a grocery store except food in which it sells. It's not only a purchasing system, but also serves as an accounting system to generate invoices to bill SuperValu's customers. Who uses EquipPro? EquipPro is used by the entire SuperValu Equipment Services Division, which is made up of a team of about 20 employees, everything from managers to buyers specializing in certain categories of equipment, to project administrators, to customer service representatives. There is also a small accounting staff to take care of all the accounting needs that use EquipPro on a daily basis to invoice and bill SuperValu retail stores. What are the benefits of EquipPro? A major benefit of the EquipPro system is that it was custom built. The team working on the project development and implementation could get things the way they wanted to meet specific business requirements of the company and meet the needs of the organization. With all the competition in the grocery industry, it was critical that SuperValu develop this new system to replace the old and outdated system used previously. The new website for equipment services was also a major benefit for this new information system. The website is much more user-friendly to the customers to give them an easier way to place orders for equipment, access order history, and to be able to view invoices. Other benefits included that the system was developed on budget and within the scheduled timeline to go live, with only a slight delay due to some missing requirements that were not collected at the beginning of the project.
Hello everyone. In the next couple slides I'm going to talk about some of the specifics with the EquipPro application and how Oracle played a role. Oracle has thousands of templates and design applications to choose from, but in this situation SuperValu chose to develop a custom application to fit its needs. They used Oracle's standard interface tables as the starting template. Because SuperValu was already using an older application through Oracle, no new licensing permits needed to be issued. The database management system that is being used is also an Oracle product. Oracle played a huge role in the success of SuperValu's new EquipPro application. EquipPro was created in-house by a team of specialists. It is not a cloud-based application. It is housed on SuperValu servers. The decision to keep the application on premises versus an in-cloud-based storage came down to a couple factors: price and maintenance. SuperValu only needs a couple scheduled downtimes a year, so by keeping it in-house, it saves SuperValu money. Oracle also takes weekly backups of the EquiPro application just in case something happens to it. It's a good feature to have. The environment of EquiPro. To access the EquiPro application, you can log in through a web browser like Internet Explorer. The program has some security in the form of firewalls and authentication. Once your username and password are verified, depending on what access you have, you can either view or change the application. SQL is a common programming code that Oracle allows its clients to use to change the application as needed. Here, Larry or other IT personnel can alter the code to fit the company's needs. This application was designed with the future in mind. SuperValu designed this application to accommodate 5,000 users at a time. In the event that this is not enough, the application is easily scalable to accommodate more users.
For the system development process, I'm going to talk about 4 separate categories. First, the development policy and procedure. Second, establishing the requirements and project leadership. Third, system development options and decisions. And lastly, application implementation. So we'll start with the development policy and procedures. Most companies have existing policies or procedures covering service agreements with vendors, service level agreements with outside vendors. The policy within the organization requires them to go through their contract team for contract labor, and unfortunately that team doesn't share documents outside the company or outside the contract process. Limitations include portability of any standards outside the general platitudes regarding provider stability, certifications, etc. They have a various platform and service languages rated by signal light, so green, yellow, and red. SuperValu is able to use green lighted platforms or software languages. The department was able to use any sort of methodology for development and deployment of the software. Prototypes were used, as well as block development, developing the software in different pieces, and IT governance, risk, and compliance requirements are in place, and every IT associate confirms their compliance with the IT risk and compliance rules once a year, every year. When it comes to project leadership, a problem was discovered and permission was given to fix the problem. The software in question is the result of the IT department playing a large role in fixing the said problem in the development of EquiPros. The business team provided general ideas. The IT team collected their ideas via meeting, email discussions, and wrote them up, and then management approved and signed off on them. With the development of the software as a whole, we see that numerous different parts of SuperValu Corporation correlated together to help make this software a success. Meaning not only the teams that I had already mentioned, but also the teams in accounting, as well as software development, the IT team, leadership, and finance helped correlate to make this project a success. Major parties worked in unison to develop the ideas and create the tool. As you can see in the prior sentence, you'll see that the team created the idea, and the idea was passed between different departments of the company working in unison to create the tool. Issues in product development, including coding with too many hands in the cookie jar. And what I mean by that is having too many people working on the coding at the same time could cause issues in the coding and not allow people to work together as strategically. IT would ask the business team to test new change and they would notice something else that they just verified was lost in the new change code, and never really got to an area of disagreement with the company, but it was an annoyance that needed to be addressed. Most of the SuperValu development and support staff are considered contractors. They have internal staff, but the staff is augmented with the contract staff. So generally, the SuperValu staff is more senior and customer facing, meaning that all development of products and services is currently outsourced. The development of this system was made in-house by third-party contractors, as I had mentioned before, and customization of the software was limited due to budgetary constrictions. So there was some packages available in which SuperValu did not pursue. There is also functionality that comes standard with Oracle Financial Suite. The business determination drove the decision to customize. SuperValu used prior contractors that have been used for prior software development with the company, successful software that has been implemented before successfully, and the software is 100% custom made for SuperValu. It lays on top of the Oracle Financial Suite and engages the core application functionality via API and the application interface structure. The implementation of the application was a step-by-step process that had continuous working and reworking of everything that was going on with the application. So the IT team and Oracle implementation team was present for the implementation of the software when the software went live. Numerous tests and retests were done before the implementation of the software was to take place. Both IT and business managed the implementation process. So they had to choose a date in which they could hit, make sure the changes were all checked, double-checked, approved, and the required documentation at this place was in place. And at that point, the IT deployment staff or the Oracle DBAs who would take the requested change order through the company's change management system to get the approval to deploy. If SuperValu didn't have all of those steps or processes in place, then any of those items would not be approved or get implemented. So SuperValu buys the skill set needed from contracting firms needing the knowledge of many different codes and softwares for both the development of the application and the implementation of the application. When the cutover to the new application took place, it was accomplished by a full day of scheduled module downtime to deploy the code. And lastly, IT and development team handled the training around the integrated software so that the people that were affected by the software change were prepared and ready for the implementation of the new software to take place.
Hello. We are now going to talk about the assessment of the strategic business benefits of the completed application. EquipPro was built specifically for SuperValu and is utilized every day. It meets their needs by enhancing business activities and allowing less human interaction. It is also more efficient than their previous models, and the automated multiple business processes are streamlined as much as possible for their procurement process. The business benefits did justify the cost as they stayed on budget and the department revenue numbers were met. Overall, a better system was implemented at an agreed upon price and timeline. Of the three competitive strategies, cost, leadership, and differentiation were found to be the target of study in this type of project. The competitive advantage is that in the short term, the software will hold up to the competition, but in the long term will require continuous updates as software is always changing, growing, and advancing. This application meets the security and compliance requirements, and at this time, improvements are not needed, only minor scale modifications, such as if there was a change or modification that was needed for something that was not working correctly, all details would be gathered, and then a ticket would be submitted into a service request, which would then from there either fix or modify the problem. As of right now, the main concern for any improvements for the future is that there would be a process change put into place. All right. Currently, the performance is measured by budget and scheduled, as these are the key things that make a performance a success. Currently, the technical team would agree that the project was a success due to the budget and the schedule. Any corrections that need to be made for any future projects would be to have more involvement from anyone involved besides the application owner. This currently is because during the project they had a delay in their business source because they didn't have a comprehensive understanding of the process, which unfortunately led to a lot of back and forth time. The lesson we learned, or the lesson that I should say they learned, was that they want more involvement from anybody that's not part of the application ownership. Currently, there was no new skills that were picked up, and that the application does do the job that it was designed to do. Any existing IT outsourcing and existing support resources were used for development, and SuperValue does not feel that there is any project improvement suggestions at this time.
As for data sources, Larry was our main source of information for this project. He was extremely helpful and informative about the processes that go on throughout SuperValue. He was very timely with his responses, and we used very few online resources just because Larry was so informative and he helped us with almost every question. So we were very thankful to have him as our go-to guy for SuperValue. I think we can all agree that group projects are extremely difficult, whether it be communication problems, timing problems. Having a timeline of who is doing what and when it is due is very helpful. Sometimes life comes at you and you can't get to something. A group member can look at the timeline, figure out what your part of the project was, and help out. This timeline made the process very smooth. It was a great strategy. Teamwork was a huge takeaway from this project. Whether it be in school or work or family, teamwork is always a big factor. Communicating and making sure everybody was on the same page was very important. We were very involved in the entire process, which was also super helpful. This project was a great experience, and I believe it was so great because we worked together.